Who remembers the song by The Who called Talking About My Generation? Well, now, instead of talking about our generation, the new trend is bashing other generations. Case in point, boomer bashing. Now, if I seem a little defensive about this, it may be because I'm a boomer. It seems to be the new national pastime. Today's real story, pointing fingers won't pay your bills or change your life. At some point, you got to stop whining about another generation and what they did and start taking accountability for what you are going to do. Let's look at some headlines. Boomer hate has gone too far. The toxic legacy of boomer blaming. Even Whoopi Goldberg felt the need to jump in and defend her generation. Here was the headline. Whoopi Goldberg doesn't get why younger generations think boomers aren't cool.
Nobody talks to me like that. You understand me?
Who are us boomers? Well, boomers are post-war generation born between 1946 and 1964. Now, as I said, that makes me a boomer, and I won't tell you about all of my war stories of walking 2 miles to school in the snow, uphill both ways every day. But here's what you do need to know. Things were different then. You'll be telling your kids and your grandkids about how tough it was that you had to fight AI and the internet was sabotaging everything and et cetera, et cetera. But when we grew up, jobs were steady, homes were affordable, and college didn't break the bank. Seriously, things were different then, and I admit that they've gotten tougher in many ways. I remember going to a state college and tuition for the semester was like $300. We also worked our butts off. But put all that together, and that's why today boomers hold most of America's wealth. Were we in the golden age? I mean, it was post-war. There was a boom going on. It was after the Great Depression. Maybe we hit it right. So you would hope younger generations would look up to and learn from us and say, what did they do to make all of this work? And while some are and do, it seems that a lot are blaming boomers for stealing the future from their millennial children. Look at these social posts. Millennials mock them. Gen Z memes them. Reddit piles on like it's a contact sport. Even Walmart had to step in, banning employees from saying, "Okay, boomer," to customers. And let's be honest, no one likes to be told, "When I was your age," and hearing a boomer say, "Hey, pull yourself up by your bootstraps." That just sounds like fingernails on a chalkboard. Hear what I just said. You don't even know what a chalkboard is. You use whiteboards, if anything. A chalkboard was green and it used something called chalk, which was white, and you had to erase it. And then you got in trouble. You had to go out back and pound the erasers and get all the chalk dust off of it. I probably still have chalk dust in my lungs from pounding erasers. I mean, things were different, especially when boomers bought their first house for less than a Civic. When Robin and I bought our first house, it was in, let me think back. It was in 1978, and we paid $18,900 for it. A median home today is $416,000. We had it for 9 months and sold it for almost $30,000. Things were going up. Average student debt in the 1980s was $4,000. Today it's $31,000. No wonder younger people hear boomer finance tips like, skip the latte. And they think, are you kidding me? This is not about lattes, you moron. I'm dealing with 10x expenses of what you guys were dealing with. Meanwhile, boomers hold $82 trillion in wealth. That's more than Gen X and millennials combined. But instead of being bitter, maybe show some appreciation, because guess what? Boomers aren't going to last forever. Nobody gets out of this life alive, and that means that $82 trillion, it's going to be passed on to you.
I found out I have an uncle, but he died.
Oh, that's too bad.
He gave me $40 billion, though.
In the next 20 years, my generation will pass down $84 trillion. And in case you're wondering, that's the biggest transfer of wealth ever. Some of it will be passed down when we die in the form of houses, retirement accounts, businesses, savings, and some of it is being given right now because parents are helping kids buy homes, pay off student loans, keep the lights on. What would you think about instead of envy, resentment, bitterness, and criticism, you just said, hey, thanks. How about some gratitude? You also don't need to sit on the fence and wait for us to die. And no, nothing makes a boomer happier than to know they can help their kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids. I guess the idea is mock us today and cash the check tomorrow. That's the irony. Unless you forget, the boomers everyone makes fun of, we were once the rebels. We marched against Vietnam. We stood for civil rights. We went to Woodstock. The guys were burning their draft cards. They said never trust anyone over 30. Maybe we're getting a taste of our own medicine now, being treated the same way we treated our parents. The silent generation. But here's the real story. We have to own some of this. We have to own some of your attitude because I think an awful lot in my generation is sending a fear message, a doom message to your generation. Because there are headlines out there that say you are the first generation that will do worse than your parents. You're the first generation that won't be able to afford a house. You're the first generation that is going to have to figure some way to piece it together because you won't continue the American ascendancy. We're telling you, what's the point? You're not going to make it. Buck the trend. Here's a tip. If they're all sitting on the sidelines, that means the road is open for you. It's like going to a NASCAR race and everybody pulls into the pits except for you. You have an open track. Go hammer down. If everybody else is scared, pessimistic, and just sitting on their hands, take the opportunity and realize, hey, I can go against the grain. I can be the one that proves this wrong. Blaming boomers for every problem may feel good. It may get you likes, laughs, and make for a great meme. But it won't buy you a house, it won't pay your debt, and it certainly won't fix the system, but you can. You can stop this cycle right now. You can buck the trend. You can say, let everybody else cry, let everybody else whine, let everybody else blame. As for me, I'm going to create my own experience. I'm going to be who I am on purpose, and I'm going to get out there and make sure that I provide for me and my family. That's the American dream, and that's the real story. Wherever you're getting the real story, make sure you subscribe and follow. I'll see you tomorrow.